Celtic's title hopes are hanging on by a thread, and apparently so are Callum Mcgregor's Achilles, as the skipper is set to be out for the rest of this season. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. Bad news for Celtic fans. Some good news with the release of a fifth kit, an Irish kit, a cultural kit, but not good news when it comes to Mcgregor, Calmac, the captain, the skipper, the man, the midfielder, the controller, because he won't be controlling anything. Maybe sitting at home with the controller, switching the TV channels, but in terms of in the midfield, doesn't look like he's going to be doing much of that. There is concerns that he could be out for the rest of the season. So, yeah, not just a cup game, not just a league game. It could be the remaining league and cup games, and that could be the difference between Celtic winning 2 trophies and Celtic winning no trophies.
Yeah, and Brendan Rodgers has voiced his opinion on this. Of course, with it being an Achilles issue, you can't just dive straight back into action with an Achilles. I think you need to edge your way back in. And we'll have to see how that goes. But this is what Brendan Rodgers said. He says, it's always, if you have your top players and your captain not available, of course there will be other players who can come in, but the level that he brings to the game is beyond what a lot of players can do for us. Fingers crossed again, we can get to the bottom of that and he'll be available after the international break. So of course the international break is next week. Yeah, end of quote. Of course it is next week. 22nd, 26th for the Scotland games. But that would put him in line for a return in the Old Firm, which would be good news for Celtic fans. But the question is, could he require surgery? And that would completely rule him out at the end of the season. Now, we have kind of said Calmac's had an underwhelming season so far. And I think, right, you've got the Livingston game.
He's not been great, but I mean, you would still rather have him available than not. That's like ridiculous. I'm not even going to go and say this doesn't make a difference. Of course it does.
No, of course it does, but in the Hearts and Livingston game, they're making out that if Callum McGregor played, they're like 1-8-0 in both of them. When that's just not been the case, man.
I don't think there's one particular player right now playing that good for Celtic that if they did get injured, you'd think, wow, that's a massive miss. Like in the past, if Kyogo got injured, you felt like Celtic would be fucked. See if Kyogo got injured now, you'd be like, well, he's not even starting.
Yeah, no.
Matt O'Reilly in the first half of the season was, banging in the goals, playing amazing, getting talked up for 25 plus million pound moves. If Matt O'Reilly got injured now and he was going to miss, like, let's say a month of action, would it really feel like that big a deal, considering how average he's been lately?
No, I think you're right.
I mean, you're looking at the wingers. Palmer get injured, would anybody care? I know Maida scored a hat-trick against Livy, but I mean, if he was injured, would anybody care? For me,
Carter Vickers, I think, is the only guy, honestly, I would say. Now, he did pick up an injury, by the way, in training. But what you would say is Celtic did deal with his injuries when they've took on Rangers before this season. But Carter Vickers, he's obviously the best defender in the league. They need him.
Like, there was always times where if Juranovic or Johnston got injured, people were afraid of Ralston coming in. But, I mean, Johnston's playing so poor at the moment. Like, you wouldn't even really view Ralston as a downgrade.
No, you probably wouldn't.
So, I mean, Celtic have got this issue at the moment. Well, maybe it's not an issue, but none of the star players are really playing like star players. So, if they did get injured, then it's not a massive deal. And I just think there's times where if Callum McGregor was out injured, you'd have thought that was Celtic done. That was Celtic finished. But now I'm looking at it, yeah, it's a blow, but he's not exactly been playing the best either. And recently, up until that last game where Celtic lost against Hearts, people were saying Awata should start over Callum McGregor.
Crazy talk.
So that kind of tells you everything you need to know about how poorly or how average McGregor's been. So while it's bad news for Celtic, I think that this could come, if this came at a different time, it'd be even worse. But yeah, for me, Callum McGregor's been disappointing, so therefore, it's not that big of a blow.
Yeah, Callum McGregor, it's been an underwhelming season by his standards, but for his sake, I mean, and Celtic's sake, they will hope that he is back sooner rather than later. And with Carter Vickers, it is looking more increasingly likely that this guy's probably going to need surgery at some point to correct this hamstring issue, because it just seems like he comes back for about a month, then he gets it again. And the only way to correct that is to get surgery, but that's going to put you out for like 6 months. And Celtic aren't probably going to risk that in the final months of this campaign, are they?
No, but I mean, you could argue if they'd done it now, he would probably be back. Probably not for the start of the season, but he'd be back close enough. He'd be back for the important Champions League games and stuff like that. Is it worth taking it? But then again, they're in a title fight. Maybe if Celtic were trailing Rangers by like 8 points, they would just bite the bullet and do it. Maybe if they were leading Rangers by 8 points, they would bite the bullet and do it. But I I mean, they are in a title fight, whether people believe it or not. It's a 2-point gap. Can they really afford to get this done and say to McGregor, right, see you in 6 months? I'm not too sure about that.
Probably not, but they've got a guy by the name of Liam Scales that's took his place, and he's also been speaking in Irish Gaelic, as Celtic have released a new Irish Origins t-shirt here. Initial thoughts on this shirt, what do you think of that?
I mean, it looks odd. It looks like something I'd expect the national team to wear, the Republic of Ireland team, so you can definitely see here Celtic going with their roots. They're not releasing a Scottish-themed fish shirt, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
I mean, if you're Irish, or if you're like Ryan 118 and you pretend that you've been to all 32 counties, even though you couldn't name 3 of them, then you know what? That's fine. This top's probably made for you, but I mean, if you're one of those Celtic fans, one of those rare Celtic fans that don't claim to be having 100% Irish blood in you, then you're probably going to be like, well, why would I want a top that looks like a national team top that I don't represent, or that doesn't represent me? So, yeah, I mean, it's a nice top if you're Irish, but
I get your point, because if you're
I'm not going to bury it. I think it looks all right. I wouldn't wear it but I think it looks all right.
There's going to be a lot of Scottish Celtic fans though that don't give a fuck about their Irish heritage.
No,
even if they do have it. Because that does happen.
And then there's going to be ones that do care about it, even though they don't have it.
Aye, so there you go. But
like Mr. Ryan Womanek.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's got some of that blood in him. I'm not too sure. But here, he's never.
I don't think the guy's ever been out of Glasgow, never been to Ireland, right? So
yeah, he wouldn't leave us with safe zone. Anyway, the tops will retail at 55 quid. While a pair
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. And
if you know, you know.
And in case Ryan Womanek craps his pants at what's that guy?
Don't worry,
Haxabanifits. You can buy a new pair of jogging bottoms for 48 quid. So
there you go. So I mean, if you get the top and you get the bottoms, I mean, it's only going to be over 103 quid.
Aye.
That's not much, guys. Come on, it's not a tough economy.
In case if he shites himself and it sprays up his back and goes over his shirt as well.
No, but hold on here. Let's say people have bought. Let's look at people that bought a season ticket. They travel every week. They go to away games. They buy all the other merchandise. They buy their match programs and all this shit. They've already bought the first kit, the second kit, the third kit, the fourth. Is this not a money grab though for Celtic coming out at this stage of the season?
Yeah, we've got one Celtic supporter writing in saying another Irish themed cash grab. Too bad the board won't spend the cash to improve the squad.
But does that mean that in 4 months' time this kit's out of date?
Well, of course it will, yeah.
Or is it just a kit?
I think this is more one that...
Is it a generalised kit?
Yeah, but no.
It's not a 23-24 season kit?
It is a generalised kit, right? But that doesn't change the fact Rangers last season, I think it was, or the season before, whipped out AC/DC. Thunderstruck. I mean, come on, Rangers. Every club does this, right? It's fucking pathetic.
What's Rangers charging 200 quid?
Probably. No,
per Fred?
Like, I get it. You're sponsored by AC/DC, right? Fair enough. But it's like milking the arse clean out it.
That's like Rodgers. He looked at the table, 8-point gap. Then he looked at it like a couple months later, 2 points behind.
I know.
You've been thunderstruck.
No, but you've also got a bit. That's brilliant. But you've got to bear in mind, right?
Wasted here.
It was wasted, but I mean, they're releasing it in March.
Follow me, guys. Son of Scotland TV.
Also, I will
make a comeback.
I said they're releasing it in March. I've just realised that St Patrick's Day is actually like
March.
5 days away. So that's probably why it's being released right now.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably make some money, and it might go into new players in the summer, or it might not.
It might not, but
it might go into Dermot Desmond's pockets. Who knows?
Liam Scales was talking in Irish Gaelic. I can't exactly get what exactly he was saying, but here is Scottish Gaelic not good enough for Celtic fans.
Can we not get Ryan to translate it for us?
Come on, Ryan.
Step up.
Step up, brother. But anyway, guys, thousands upon thousands have sailed the Irish Sea to support the boys over the years, except Ryan 118. Except Ryan 118, guys.
What the hell's the Irish Sea? Never held it.
Northern Irish Sea, bro. Anyway, guys, enough ripping the piss at this. Celtic have released new kits, and Callum McGregor will he be able to wear it this season? We'll have to wait and see. But until next time, peace.